The European Commission has proposed reversing a ban on all new combustion engine vehicles from 2035. The revised rules soften the target to a 90% reduction in auto emissions from 2021 levels. The Commission says the move is a more pragmatic approach that will help support European car makers. The decision has been praised by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and is also a relief for Germany's troubled auto industry.
Welcome to Buhl, a quaint town in southern Germany, with a bakery, a pedestrian zone, a Gothic church, and plenty of charm. But another important part of Buhl used to be its auto industry. It long brought wealth and economic stability to the region, but times have changed.
We can directly feel the economic crisis. The entire region depends on the auto sector.
We're at the Schaeffler plant, visiting one of Germany's largest auto suppliers. The mood isn't great. The company criticizes the EU's goal to put an end to diesel engines by 2035.
What we see actually in the year 2026, the end customers are not buying as many battery electric cars in Europe as anticipated. So missing infrastructure, no conviction about the technology, and then banning one of the key technologies end customers would accept, we regard as extremely critical as of today.
This is the main production hall. Schaeffler has recently adapted and is already producing electric engines. But the company's main business is still making parts for gas and diesel engines. The idea that they won't be needed much longer sounds like a threat to many here. Volker Robel is on the Employees' Council and acts as a spokesperson for the Schaeffler workers.
Last week we had an employees meeting. We had a poll. About 50% of us said that they're worried about their jobs.
The problem? The government wants climate-friendly cars, but they want jobs too. The auto industry makes up 7% of the EU's gross domestic product. The EU exports cars and parts worth 170 billion euros, and almost 14 million people work in the sector. The industry worries about its future post-combustion engines, as that's a technology where European companies are leading worldwide. It's a point Matthias Zink has made in Brussels, too. He's not only on the board of Schaeffler in Germany, but he's also president of the interest group of European auto suppliers.
Our scenario is that we should open up all the different technologies, that we should stick to the carbon reduction target, but it should be a fair technical competition.
For now, Brussels has received the message. The EU has tabled the matter of banning new combustion engine cars. The mayor of Buhl is pleased.
I don't think we have to drop our climate goals, but we need to develop our technologies and communicate that clearly.
The mayor supports electric vehicles and combustion engine cars, hoping they both will secure jobs in his town.
For a closer look at how the EU's U-turn on the combustion ban is going down in Germany, let's bring in DW political correspondent Simon Young. Simon, Germany is the EU's top car-producing nation. What have reactions been to the announcement here?
Well, Nicole, Chancellor Merz, as you would expect, he's welcomed this announcement in Brussels. He, of course, was partly responsible for persuading the European Commission to change tack on this matter. He wrote to Brussels a few weeks ago, urging them to find an approach for the automotive industry that, as he put it, combined innovation friendliness with technological openness and was good for both industry and the climate. Well, that's a politician's way of saying give our car makers a bit more time to build vehicles that are both fossil fuel powered but also using new synthetic and biofuels and of course electric vehicles as well. So he's very positive. But the German automotive industry has been sharply critical of this. They say it doesn't go far enough. They say it looks like openness, but in fact it's fraught with hurdles and may, in practice, be ineffective. On the other hand, you've got Volkswagen, which is Europe's biggest car maker, saying they think this is pragmatic and economically sensible and they can work with it. And then again, you've got environmental groups saying that, this is a betrayal, really, that it goes in the wrong direction and it weakens Europe's car industry in the technological race with China.
Why has the German car industry been struggling so much with the transition to electric vehicles?
Well, I think there are many reasons, as you saw in that report. There is some criticism from the industry about environmental rules, but as the European Industry Commissioner said, this is partly about addressing those difficulties, but the challenges are much bigger than that. There's sluggish demand among European consumers. Europe's economy is in the doldrums, and there have been problems with prices. For electric vehicles, for instance, there have been subsidies, then they've been withdrawn. People are very price conscious. At the same time, I think in Germany, Germany's been slow to sort of roll out the infrastructure that you need, the charging stations and so on. So people have been uncertain. But it's also this question that where do you position yourself in a technological race, in particular with China, which has been surging ahead. It's not just about the big marques like BMW and Mercedes. It's like we saw in the report, these smaller components and parts manufacturers who need to find their role in a sort of electric car and more diversified fuel source car industry in the future. Those are big questions, and I think changing policy at European level like this could just add to the uncertainty and make it more difficult for European car makers to really find their place going forward into the future.
That was DW political correspondent Simon Young. Great to have you on the show again, Simon. Thanks.